That's not generally used. That's thoroughly used. That means that somebody's catching fish.
All right, now we're live.
I'll wear it.
Now we're live, Matt.
Yeah.
We are live.
We are live.
All right.
I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure we are.
This is TRS live. That's why we call it that. All right. Well, once you confirm that
we're live.
Hey. All right. Well,
It's like
cool.
picture in picture.
Yeah. Look at
Like
that.
old school.
Yeah.
Now, can you take a selfie with it being live? All right. Well, let's get right to it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to TRS Live. We have a special guest today, Brian Keller. No, just kidding. Ish Monroe is here.
Who? Where? What? When? Why? Wasn't me.
Hey, man, thank you so much for making the time to come to the Real Shot today. We got a great crowd of people starting to form here,
Yep.
meeting you guys and everything like that. So, you know, you're here in Wisconsin. What do you think so far? You come to Wisconsin often?
Muskie fishing's great. I mean, walleye fishing's great. Perch fishing's great. I don't know. Do you guys have bass in the state? There's one place. Lacrosse. Lacrosse has Lacrosse and Sturgeon Bay have bass.
We'll see him at Red Crest catching bass. Nice.
You won't see me at Red Crest this year. I had a little bit of a rough year. I mean, I had some great finishes and stuff, but, you know, we've got a new format, and it's just – I'm a big fish guy, and so it's been hard to appeal to me on catching, you know, more so numbers than it is the actual bigger fish. And
well, and I mean, we hear a lot of conversations about, you know, MLF versus the Big Five format and everything like that. And that leads me into one of my questions I had for you is, what is your favorite thing about the MLF format right now?
It's a new, exciting format. You know, it's changed the game. I love the breaks in between. I love the days off. I mean, the days off allow me to come and do stuff like this and hang out and, you know, talk with people and, you know, because it's all about the fans. But the one thing about that organizations have to remember is without fans, there is no sport.
Correct.
And that goes from baseball, basketball, football, bass fishing, hunting, you know, so it's all about the fans, and that's why we're here to thank them. But I love the fact that, you know, we do get to go out and just go fishing and catch as many as we want. And it's angler driven, so we get a lot of say in how things are done and, you know, the format and stuff. And I'm still pushing for my Big Five, you know, tournament, just 5 fish only that I'll win.
Yep.
But we'll kind of see and go from there.
That's weird because Brian and I are actually working on a head-to-head format that you might qualify for. So we should.
What do I take to qualify?
Well, you just got to be Ish Monroe.
Right now it's invite only.
Well, even better. If it's invite only, sign me up.
Well, I mean, so
$1 million first place.
What's that?
$1 million first place out of your account.
Yeah, so we need a couple more sponsors. So if anybody wants to sponsor these fishing competitions that we got in the works, but no, so and we, you know, there's a lot of mixed reviews on it. Some guys are a real big fan of the Big Five, but I personally like the MLF format. I like to see guys catch fish and hook set all day long, and you know, you guys do a great job of that.
Here's the thing is you saw it in today's competition. You had a guy, Kelly Jordan, who was in last place, who made a run to actually making the cup.
Yep.
Jordan Lee, when he won, he squeaked in to the last place position and ended up winning the tournament. That's the thing about it that I do love is you're never out of it.
You're
never out of it. You know, guys have come from last place to end up making the top 10 in the event. And so you're motivated to go fishing every day. You go out in a tournament, and I've been that guy where I've gone out and the guy's got 20 pounds on me, or you're 15 pounds out of the cut, and you're just like, it's over.
Right.
5 fish, you can't make that up. But with the multiple bass, you can make that up. And we've had multiple 8-pounders. We had a 9, 15. This is our biggest fish so far. Several 7s and 8s. I mean, I weighed 42 pounds in about 30 minutes, you know, when we were in North Carolina, and that was for 10 fish. So my 4-pound average. So, yeah, we're catching big fish, and it's fun.
Right.
Well, I think that might be one of the biggest misconceptions with MLF is that they're only fishing for little fish. Nobody's going to do that.
No, they're not.
It's just that numbers game, right? But I mean, if you could get on a school of 4-pounders, that's what you're going to do.
Stay right there.
You're going to go get on them,
you
right?
ain't moving.
Right, absolutely.
You ain't moving.
Exactly.
Do you think that I'm sorry, not
no, go ahead.
But
it's back and forth. Yeah,
it's a huge thing in Wisconsin. Everyone this back and forth, Big Five, MLF. Right. You know what do we like better? What don't we like better? I think a lot of it's like the NFL. If they change a rule in the sport, it takes people a while to adjust.
Right.
And I think that's what people in the bass fishing, that are fans of bass fishing, are dealing with right now. Do you think they'll ever make a switch to maybe like giving a little bit of a bonus to bigger fish?
Well,
because like NASCAR's done that too. You get a bonus for leading laps. And
that's the things that we've talked about. Once again, angler driven, we get to make these decisions. We've talked about going to a 2-pound scoreable bass, or we can go to a 3-pound scoreable bass. Imagine going down to Falcon and saying, hey guys, it's a 3-pound scoreable bass. Well, the majority of the fish you're going to catch are over 3 pounds anyways.
Really?
So, think about going to Sturgeon Bay at the right time of the year when every single smallmouth you catch is 3.5 to 4 pounds. Right. And so you say, hey, every scoreable bass is 3 pounds. And then that changes the game. Again, people won't like that.
Could that fluctuate with every tournament?
Yes.
Though? Okay. And that wouldn't be a big issue.
Right. It wouldn't be a big issue because you think about rating a lake based upon how good the lake is or the scenario. If you go to La Crosse and do the same thing, you go a 2-pound minimum at La Crosse, you're still going to see a guy end up weighing 200 plus pounds in a day because I've done it. I mean, when I won last year in La Crosse, I caught 50 to 80 every single day on a frog.
I was going to say, now, La Crosse is kind of a frog bite, right?
It is the best frog bite in the country.
That's like your thing, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. But the other great thing about Major League Fishing versus, a lot of the other stuff that's out there is you will never not find Major League Fishing. Major League Fishing has taken us from being on ESPN Saturday mornings when primarily most people are either asleep, hungover. Right. You guys in Wisconsin drink. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
I've been multiple times up here drinking and drunk, taken under the bus.
Right.
Matter of fact, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. By like 100.
Flat run over by
it. By like 102-pound girl that's 22 years old. She just like, you want a drink? Sure. I'm like, all right, a couple drinks. She's done. No. It just, she's like, hey, come on, keep up. We're just getting started. Yeah. But no, I mean, you're going to find it. You go to Discovery Channel. You've got it there. You go to MLF Live. You've got it there. You've got it on Outdoor Channel. Right now, we're airing the World Championship on CBS. That's unheard of in our sport.
I agree.
So every single time you talk about bass fishing, it's MLF's the topic because everybody's seeing it. I've got companies, that are coming out of the woodworks that are non-endemics that are talking to me now because they see what MLF is doing. Right. And so that's why I want to be a part of this.
It's introducing a lot of people to the sport that normally you wouldn't do it because I can't go out and catch, 5 to 6 pound bass every single time. Well, I can go out there and catch 100
I think that's a big part of it. Back when I was on the walleye tour, we trolled planer boards a lot. And I drew the owner of Offshore Tackle as one of the co-anglers when I was in that tournament. And the guy goes, we quit coming out to Lake Erie to film for sales. And I said, why is that? He goes, because people think 8-pound walleyes are a myth.
Right.
The average, so they thought the only thing you could do with those planer boards was catch giant fish, and we couldn't sell as well to the masses because the masses, I mean, that's just not normal, right? Lake Erie, I mean, Lake Erie is kind of like Sturgeon Bay for smallmouth. It's
exactly.
Full of giant, freaky fish.
It's the glory hole.
Right, and people just thought this wasn't, come on, Matt, stay with me. People just thought we go down.
It is. But it's in the right way. In the right way. It's in the right way. It's in the right way. He took that to the next level. Definitely did not.
And I'm going to do that every single
time.
Take it to the next level. You're invited every day of the week.
If you watch the show, it's like that every single time.
Right.
This is just where it should go. So it's totally great. But my point was I think that's part of the allure to the non-endemics about MLF is that it appeals to everybody because everybody catches 1 and 2 pound fish on the norm.
Yep. Right.
They're not like Ish that can go out and pick apart this massive weed bag and find the 5 biggest ones in there.
Yep.
But I mean, then you have the cup events where there's no practice involved, and so everybody wants to know how do guys go to a new lake and figure it out. And so MLF does that, and it shows it to you. And so it's just super exciting, and it's the new wave of the future. And then think about the conservation aspect of it.
Oh, I love it.
I got to tell you guys the story of yesterday. So non-squirrel bass, I skipped my Cinco up underneath the dock. Yes, I had a spinning rod and a Cinco, not very often. I catch this bass.
It was like you and everybody else. I mean, literally.
It was true.
It was 40 guys, like 38 when we're throwing Cincos.
Yeah. 38 of the 40 were throwing Cincos. Well, actually, I'm sorry, there's only 39 today. So, 38. Yeah. So
let's be fair.
He has a hook in his throat from me catching. I cut the hook and release this fish. 20 minutes later, I come back by that same spot, catch that same fish again.
No way.
So that tells you that if I would have put that fish in a live well, he would have got beat up. He would have not probably survived. This fish tells you how healthy he is because he ate again.
Right.
The same bait.
Well, and I think the other awesome part with the bass is right now in Wisconsin, a lot of them are still in that spawning type area. So if they are fry
no information, you cannot give me any information. You can't talk
cannot
talk about the lake. Any information? It was
politely.
If you're on a lake and the fish are still anywhere near beds on any lake, it gets the fry guarders back to where they're doing their job.
That's right.
That's all I was going to say.
And you guys, and if you do throw
that
the
was
fish,
my point. Sorry, that was my point.
And you can see it when you guys are fishing because the fish is the main focus because you drop it, it's a penalty. You throw it in the water like some guys do above the gunnel. Yeah, it's a penalty. So
that's awesome.
Let's teaching the future. It's teaching the future of the sport about conservation, and conservation is huge. And I see little kids walking around here 3, 4, 5 years old, and that's awesome because that was my dad. My dad was bringing me to the tackle shops and letting me walk around. I mean, it's just the way. And so now you teach them conservation on top of that, and then the whole sport has a future.
So I know we want to get you back out there so you can sign some autographs.
We can hang out here.
I'm having too much fun here.
I know, me too. It's a blast. But
you said 30 minutes.
It seems like it's a half an hour.
How about you put your phone out and then you got your...
Oh, my God. He always yells at me like this. All right. So anyway, I wanted to get some of these good questions.
So you got time.
We got time.
We got time. I love your stories. I'm sorry, man. I've had like 6 energy drinks today.
Obviously, little jacked up on Mountain Dew chip.
Nah, I ain't got no Mountain Dew chip. All you did was make a hot daughter. I'll tell you a funny story, Ish Monroe. My wife's name is Molly, okay? She's beautiful because she's my wife.
I was going to say, she's the 102-pounder that could drink in a table.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But her father is named Charles, but they call him Chip for short.
Awesome.
So every day I get to go to Chip say, all you ever did was make a hot daughter.
Chip.
I threw your war medals off the bridge.
Loves it. Probably looks at you and gives you that look like, yeah, I will still stab you in your sleep.
Yes. Yeah. Luckily,
that is my daughter. Treat her respectfully. Yes.
And he's a quiet guy too. So those are
even worse. Yeah. Awesome.
So I do have a couple questions here, and I want to keep the conversation going. But like you mentioned, the little kids, in here and everything like that.
There's one right there.
Yep, look at him. Let's wave to him. Oh, it's Andrew. Hey, man. So, what was your first fishing combination as a young kid? Do you remember what you were throwing? A Mickey Mouse rod?
I mean, I've got pictures of me with the Zebco 33 and stuff like this, but I still to this day always remember my first spinning reel.
Okay.
And my first spinning reel was a Daiwa SS 1300 old school reel. My dad played me in a game of chess, and to this day, he denies that he let me win, but I won that from him because it was like 2 weeks of extra chores, or I win the reel, beat him in chess. So I beat him at chess, and I still to this day, but that's the reel that I remember, and Daiwa still makes that reel. That's how amazing it is.
That is, and that started the love affair with the Daiwa company.
Yep. And I mean, I've been with them pretty much my whole entire career. We designed all the rods. It's the best product on the market. The SV spool is for that guy who is afraid of casting a backlash. Spend a little bit more money, get a better quality reel, and you won't get those backlashes.
Well, there you go. I had a backlash fest this morning when I was trying to throw offshore.
Then you obviously weren't using a Daiwa.
No, I wasn't. I was on the struggle bus, man. I was underneath the struggle bus, and it was running me over.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, got another question for you. And Brian, if you have some questions,
I will.
Let me.
I'm real bashful.
Let me know. Okay, go to boat snack when you're out there during these tournaments.
Not bananas, Matt.
Definitely not bananas. Does he bring bananas?
This is true story.
But hey,
okay,
you tell your story. I'm fine with it.
I won't tell it.
You can tell it in a way.
So if we get Fred Rambanis in here today,
he was supposed to come, but
he might show up tomorrow.
Oh, is he?
He might show up tomorrow because he's not fishing tomorrow. Fishing.
I hope he shows up.
No, he's supposed to show up today. He might show up.
Okay.
If he shows up and you get him on here, you have to ask him the banana story.
I mean, right there
because he completely screwed up our tournament.
See, now, we had this conversation plus or minus a week ago.
Listen.
And we're in a boat, and we're driving across the lake, and Matt pulls a banana out of his backpack. And I'm like, Matt, What in the hell are you doing?
That's exactly.
You have a banana in my boat.
Get out.
What are you doing?
Get out.
I almost threw him in the lake.
You should have.
Almost.
That's how you get rid of it. You throw him in the lake.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
with the
fair
banana.
enough.
Luckily, Ish,
Done.
what I
Next
did
time where
is-
he's going straight in.
Luckily,
Yeah.
what I did is when I pulled the banana out of my bag, I held on to the $10,000 camera equipment that I was running that day.
That might have been why I didn't.
That's
And then
the
I
only
said,
reason,
go
right.
ahead, try it. Because
Yeah.
I float, your stuff sinks to the
Right,
bottom.
there
Do you
we
have
go.
any idea where that came from? Or is it just is what it is?
it's
'Cause I don't
so
have
it's
any idea.
it's an old sailor's folktale about the first boat that ever carried bananas across the ocean sank.
Okay.
And so ever since then, it's been taboo
It's just
to
dropping
have
knowledge on us.
bananas in the boat. And so, yeah.
All right.
But Fred basically tried to prove a point because he knew I was anti-banana. Everything that could go wrong went wrong that day. How about this? We snagged a fish, the biggest fish on the bed that we caught that day. We snagged it, so we had to let it go. Didn't get to weigh it in. We had boat issues. Then we missed a check.
Did you backlash your Daiwa reel?
I did not backlash that.
I was going to say, because that would have been really bad.
That would have been,
Yeah.
good
I
point.
think, I mean, it was to the point where there was so much bad stuff happening that day. And at the end of the day, he goes, man, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I brought a banana to try to prove a point that we were going to go catch him. And he goes, after we missed the check for the last place check, yeah. And so I never fished with Fred ever again. We're still friends, but I still never fished with him.
I bet you he
ever
doesn't ever take a banana in a boat again.
I don't know if he does, but there's a lot of people that does. My old roommate John Cruz, Missile Bates, he would bring a banana in the boat all the time, and I'm like, dude, he goes, I made the classic, I won a tournament, I can't go wrong. I'm like,
I think it's all up here.
it is,
It's all up here.
because
are you willing? But when you fish at his level, are you willing to risk it?
No.
Just in case.
But I'm telling you, it is all there because I broke the first cast. I watch so many times I'm watching fishing and guys go, oh, well, I got to make my first cast. And they make some weird, awkward little cast. Well, I ended up almost winning a tournament and crushing him that day by catching one on the first cast. So after that,
I've always been the same way. I'm like, I
that's
don't want
one less fish I got to catch, though. That's
Right,
it.
right.
I'm
I
ahead of
hear
the
ya.
game. You
I
catch
hear ya.
one, not wasting a cast.
So, a question for you back on the growing up thing.
Yep.
You're obviously a really well-known frog fisherman.
Yes.
That's your deal. When did the love affection, or how did that kind of become your thing?
Well, the love affection came is you had a guy by the name of Alfred Williams. He's one of the few African-American anglers that fished Bassmasters back in the days that you only saw on television.
Okay.
Well, he was a frog fisherman. And so I kind of started watching him and things like that. Well, some guys, Bobby Barrick and a few others, brought the frog out west. And all of a sudden, they are blowing tournaments away like no one's near or close to them. So I'm like, I got to learn how to fish this bait. And so I got the love for it. The same thing with flipping, D. Thomas. I grew up around that stuff. And that's why I love to flip and throw a frog. And it's just amazing the size fish you catch.
Awesome.
With throwing a frog, is there one piece of advice you could give anybody learning to throw the frog?
You only take the frog on the water when you want to learn how to fish a frog. But that goes for any bait. You want to learn how to fish something better, you only take a drop shot if you want to become a better drop shot fisherman. You want to catch more on tubes, you only take tubes and a bunch of different jig heads and stuff and learn how to fish a tube. Same thing with the jig. But that's the best thing I could give you is just go fish it and don't be afraid to throw it all day long. This past week I've been catching the majority of my fish on topwater, and it's happened all day long, and I know a lot of people put it down after that sun gets up.
Right. Huh,
Good advice. Good advice.
So you never answered my question, though. What's your
one?
go-to snack?
Man,
Yeah, sorry, I jumped in with the whole banana thing.
You did.
yeah, the go-to.
Or it could be, when you're packing your lunch in the morning.
It's always the peanut butter and honey sandwich.
Oh, good call.
On wheat.
But you don't put bananas on that.
Definitely don't put bananas on that at all. But I mean, you always got to have your Crockett Creek jerky in the boat too. These guys, well, they make a honey jalapeno, which is oh my god, it's like I like jerky.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Oh.
Who doesn't? Because it's easy, it's quick, and it lasts forever.
Yep.
Once again, you find a pack of jerky that's been in your boat all year long, you're still going to eat it. It's still good. Well, they came out with this honey jalapeno. We've been fishing in Major League Fishing, and it's been all of a sudden I eat one. I'm like, I'm done. I call them dudes up. I'm like, send me 5 cases, and 5 cases showed up, and I'm just like, yeah.
What?
So that's my go-to snack.
We have to remember that company. We might have to talk to them.
Well, if you get Brandon Coulter in here, he's
coming tomorrow.
Yep. If Brandon Coulter's coming tomorrow, you just hit him up like, hey, Brandon, we need a little.
Well, because he has his truck here.
Yeah, exactly.
Some other
that
people,
and Corona. That and Corona.
Yeah. How come you don't have a good sponsor?
Hey, I drink a lot of Twisted Tea. I mean, who doesn't like?
Hey, listen, if Twisted Tea is listening, I don't see it there. I'm watching.
It's not on the jersey, but I drink a lot of Twisted Tea out there.
If they approached you'd jump all over.
Definitely, definitely would.
So you're trying to tell me is you have Twisted Tea in the boat with you as your
no,
go-to snack?
I'm guessing that's against the rules.
No, that's definitely. We do not promote boating and drinking.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you, when I get back to the camper or sitting at the RV chilling out, there is a case in the RV right now, and so as soon as I'm done here, it's nice and warm outside.
Oh, it's perfect night.
Cup
for
of
that
ice.
Kind of
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so we covered some of the questions. This is actually from Tony that works here, and I like this question a lot.
Okay.
Craziest confrontation on the water?
Oof.
You guys obviously don't do your research. I pushed a guy in the water, right?
No.
Oh, you have to look this one up.
Oh.
Ish Monroe goes to jail for pushing a guy in the water. So
Can we drop the link? We're gonna drop the link on your
look
video.
that one
On
up.
this.
the guy.
I'm writing it down.
Don't
Is this a
drop the
Coingler,
link.
or was this another?
No, this is another competitor who actually fishes on this tour. He hit my boat, didn't apologize, and so I felt like he needed to cool off.
Oh.
So I just, decided to take a dump in the water.
I have a very similar story to that.
So that's my.
So what did you do? Pull up next to him and jump into his boat?
No. He hit my boat, so he's right there.
Oh, nice.
And so I called him a few names and told him he was kind of crazy.
Call him your best friend. And,
and he says, "What did I do?" And I just looked at him and just.
So somebody got it all on video?
No, it's not on video. It's just the whole thing.
story.
The story. Yes. Oh, yeah.
How long did you sit?
I sat for no minutes at all. So the funny part about it is the actual officer who had to do the arresting. He was furious because he's off work, and he's got to be here for this.
Yep.
So he has to take me in. He has to do his routine, puts me in the cuffs, puts me in the car, takes me to the deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hands me my cell phone and my wallet, and goes, "Well, I got to do this report. You can go ahead and make all the calls that you need to make." And he goes, "Do you need a bail bondsman, or were you bailing yourself out?" And I said, "How much is it?" He goes, $1,000. I said, "Here's my credit card." He goes, "Okay." So they put me in. Close the door because this is what they have to do. Opens the door, lets me out, and he's just like shaking his head. And the worst part about this whole deal is all the guys at the jail, all the sheriffs that are there, they're all bass fishermen. So they're asking for my autograph, taking photos with me. I'm in the orange jumpsuit. They got photos with me. And we're laughing about this deal because it is completely funny. I mean, you got to think about this. Right, exactly.
They actually had to put you in an orange jumpsuit?
Because it's part of the process. You have to do it.
Dude.
I mean, it's just one of those things.
Those pictures, that's like you see on all those.
Sounds like a great little commercial we could do. I'll just go pushing the lake.
Yeah. I'm pulling the Ish Monroe.
Yeah, that's what it was called for. So they have it was funny because all over social media they go, "What does Ish throw in the springtime?" And it has a picture of that guy there. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, you want to talk about confrontation? That's one of the more funny
What
ones
about
that
on the water?
That was on the water.
That was on the water.
That was on the water.
I missed it. I thought it was back at the dock.
No, so we blasted off and we took off and we come to a lock.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting on the outside of the lock. The guy comes in hot. He wants to get ahead of everybody. He did it the day before. He crashed into the first couple boats, and so everybody moved out of his way. Stupid, right? So then that happens. He does it again to me, and I'm not going to put up with that. I mean, and then I actually went out after I pushed him in the lake, went out and caught one of the biggest bags of the tournament, and they disqualified me.
Oh.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh.
But that's the only
running into a guy's boat. That would be my argument.
Oh, he got disqualified too, but it was just still funny that
at least he got his.
Yeah.
Nice.
But nobody likes that guy. He's just one of those guys I'm sure you avoid.
So I know we can't talk about the lake and the fishing.
Right.
Can you talk about yesterday a little bit and what your thoughts are? Because you're sitting, 15th?
I'm sitting 15th right now. I will tell you, I had the worst possible practice that anybody could have. I was the first day of practice. I think I got 4 bites. The second day of practice, I got like 10 bites, but I fished on the big lake. I actually was thinking that the wind was going to blow, so I was going over on our practice lake that if we just in case the wind happened, we were going there. But I am amazed. You know, when I saw those first day weights and how many fish the guys were catching, I'm like, this lake is actually a good lake. And so I buckled down and put my head down, and I ended up catching 18 keepers yesterday. I missed a few others, which, you know, that's just part of fishing. You don't catch them all. If you do, you're a master.
Right.
You're not a fisherman anymore. You're a catcher. And so we sit back and, you know, just caught all those fish, and it's just an amazing lake. And, you know, it's underrated, and people don't want to talk about this lake very much. But as a walleye lake, it's a great bass lake. There's a lot of fish in there. Lot of fish in there. I mean, the other surprise is the largemouth versus the smallmouth. Right. There's lots more largemouth in this place. That everybody's thinking smallmouth. You know, all the reports on Major League Fishing is all about the smallmouth bite. Yep. And next you know, 95% of the bass that show up are largemouth. So,
well, I think conditions had something to do with that too. Guys couldn't fish the big lake, so
right.
Now, do you have any major game plan changes for tomorrow?
No, I'm just gonna go fishing. I'm at that point now where I just go fishing. I just sit back, relax. That's probably the best advice I can give anybody when it comes to fishing: is just sit back, relax, and go fishing.
Go fishing
and enjoy it.
And have fun.
And have fun. Because a lot of people don't have fun.
Come back and have some Crockett jerky and
some Crockett jerky
and some iced tea.
And some iced tea.
And that's it.
Twisted tea.
Twisted tea. And don't, if you ever see Ish Monroe in the water, don't run into him.
I was going to say, don't get near him.
That's people don't do. They don't run in my boat.
Be a linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, so just
well, the part about us is now the guys that actually get close to my boat, they're like, oh, there's no way.
Break it hard.
Exactly.
Power pulls down.
Don't get close. Don't get close.
Oh. Do you just like bluff charge some guys? Just to
I did for a little while at first. I was just like, coming after you. Get out of my. They're like.
I will go to jail. I will do it.
Prove it. Look it up on YouTube. But I mean, if you pull up to a spot, you can be like, really? Are you going to test me right now?
Right,
I mean, maybe you should back off that spot. So.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. We appreciate you sitting down. We're getting back in there. You got a lot of fans that want to talk to you and everything like that. So again, this is Ish Monroe. Good luck tomorrow. I hope
appreciate it. Yeah.
Catch a bunch.
Pull the Mike Iaconelli and catch like 50 pounds a day.
Man,
get it done.
Hammered him. 37 bass.
He put on a clinic today. And I hope everybody has good luck like that tomorrow.
It'll be good.
So cool.
Thanks
everybody for tuning in.